Welcome to the HPG Blackout. My call sign is Longshadow, and I do not care whether you are a spheroid or a clanner because I am just an amateur historian who loves big stompy robots. Today we explore the different eras of history in the inner sphere. But since Comstar has us in a blackout, we need your help to get our signal out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content, just like this. The Age of War lasted from 2005 to 2570 and was a time of great change and upheaval. It began with the Terran Alliance and the colonization of the inner sphere. As KF drive technology was introduced in the 22nd century, humanity began its first Terran exodus. However, unrest sparked in 2235 with the Outer Reaches Rebellion, leading to the Alliance losing and issuing the Demarcation Declaration, which set most colonies free and sparked the Second Terran Exodus. Throughout the 23rd and 24th centuries, the first independent interstellar nations were founded in the inner sphere, and the periphery was settled. The Terran Alliance transformed into the more powerful Terran hegemony, and the great houses began forging their own empires, with neo-feudalism becoming dominant. The Age of War officially began in 2398 and lasted until the mid-26th century. The Ares Conventions were introduced in 2412 to regulate warfare, and in 2439 the Terran hegemony introduced the Maquis, the first battlemech design, revolutionizing warfare. The Star League era began in 2571 and lasted until 2780. This was a time of unity for humanity, as House Cameron of the Terran hegemony unified the other 5 inner sphere states and orchestrated the reunification war to bring the recalcitrant periphery nations into the Union. For nearly 2 centuries, humanity was united under a single government, and advancements in science and engineering, backed by the greatest military in history, upheld nearly 2 centuries of peace and prosperity across all settled worlds. However, the Star League was not without its conflicts. Minor conflicts dubbed the Hidden Wars occurred, but the Star League Defense Force rarely saw true conflict until periphery revolts broke out in 2765. These rebellions enabled Stefan Umaris to destroy the Cameron dynasty and seize the Star League throne for himself, resulting in the Umaris Civil War. Although Alexander Kerensky and his SLDF ultimately defeated Umaris, the hegemony and Star League were irreparably ruined. The Succession Wars era was a period of conflict that occurred after the collapse of the Star League. In 2784, the Star League dissolved, and its leader, General Alexander Kerensky, along with most of the SLDF, left the inner sphere. This departure left a power vacuum, and within 2 years, the 5 successor states began waging total war against each other, each aiming to restore the Star League with its own dynasty at its head. During this era, Comstar emerged from the last surviving ministry of the Star League and established itself as a quasi-religious order on Terra, utilizing its monopoly on interstellar communications to manipulate the ongoing wars for its own agenda. The First and Second Succession Wars were devastating. Spanning 3 generations and resulting in the loss of billions of lives, hundreds of worlds depopulated, and much scientific knowledge lost. The Third Succession War began in 2866 and reflected the general decay across the inner sphere. It was a constant low-intensity conflict throughout this period, with advanced technologies becoming lost tech, and combat growing more ritualized and medieval among mech warriors. The Third Succession War ended with a peace treaty between House Steiner and House Davian that then forced the other great houses to sign treaties of their own. The Fourth Succession War saw the Capellan Confederation reduced to a rump state, and the Draconis Combine suffer heavy losses. Theodore Carita reformed the Combine military with Comstar's aid and granted independence to the Free Rosselhague Republic. By 3049, a Fifth Succession War or House Steiner-Davion's re-establishment of the Star League seemed likely. However, the discovery of the Helm Memory Core in 3028, coupled with other scientific efforts, began a technological renaissance during the next 2 decades, and the inner sphere slowly began climbing back towards Star League-era levels of technology. In 3050, a new faction emerged from the deep periphery, changing the inner sphere forever. The clans, with their genetically bred warriors and advanced technology, struck with vengeance, cutting through all opposition. During the clan's Operation Revival, the Draconis Combine and Lyran, half of the Federated Commonwealth, suffer significant losses, while the Free Rosselhague Republic is almost wiped out. But who are these invaders? They are the descendants of the Star League in exile, returned to re-establish the Star League. The clan's invasion reached a climactic point in the Battle of Tuka-Yid, where Comstar's military arm emerged victorious and secured a truce that halted the invasion for 15 years. During this time, the successor states frantically upgraded their armies, preparing for the inevitable hostilities while the clan seethed with anger at the enforced peace. Comstar, recognizing the need for change, undergoes reforms aimed at secularizing the organization. However, dissident zealots exile themselves and form the fanatical Word of Blake. In 3057, Clan Wolf waged the refusal war against Clan Jade Falcon to prevent a resumption of the invasion. Meanwhile, Operation Guerrero resulted in the Free Worlds League and Capellan Confederation reclaiming worlds lost during the Fourth Succession War. This sundered the Federated Commonwealth when Catherine Steiner Davian orchestrated the secession of the rechristened Lyran Alliance. The Battle of Coventry in 3058 led to the successor states forging the Second Star League with the express purpose of ending the clan invasion. They achieved this goal when Operation Bulldog and Task Force Serpent concluded with the annihilation of Clan Smoke Jaguar and the reborn SLDF winning the Great Refusal. The clans agreed to end the invasion permanently and became a part of the Inner Sphere's political landscape. While the clan threat was ended, it did not mean the beginning of a new era of peace. In fact, several wars erupted within the Inner Sphere itself. Chancellor Sun Tzu Liao took advantage of the rift in the former Federated Commonwealth and his own realm's Xinjiang movement to reclaim former Capellan worlds. His efforts culminated in the Capellan-St. Ives War, which ended with the reabsorption of the St. Ives Compact into the Confederation. At the same time, tensions within the newly formed Federated Commonwealth led to the tyrannical rule of Catherine Steiner Davian, and eventually to the 5-year FedCom civil war between her loyalists and Victor Steiner Davian's allies who were intent on dethroning her. In this brutal conflict, both realms and their militaries were ravaged before Catherine was finally defeated. Numerous smaller conflicts erupted around the Inner Sphere during this period, most of them derived from the larger civil war. The Jade Falcons attacked the Lyran Alliance again, while the Draconis Combine found itself mired in border wars with both Clan Ghostbear and the Federated Commonwealth's Draconis March. During these years, the Word of Blake also expanded its power base outward from Terra, as well as building up its military might. However, the rest of the Inner Sphere dismissed the fanatics as posing little danger and did not interfere. For the sake of the channel, I will not be calling this era by its published name. On this channel, I will refer to this era as the Word of Blake War, which was a war that engulfed the entire Inner Sphere. The Second Star League, formed to end the clan invasion, succeeded, and was dissolved after its members voted to end its existence. The Word of Blake reacted to this news by attacking Tharkod and New Avalon, two of the most important worlds in the Inner Sphere, leading to a war that pitted the Word against the rest of the Inner Sphere. The Blakists targeted other capitals and important industrial worlds and created a whiteout of the HPG network that added to the chaos. They also used their hidden armies to carve out a protectorate at the heart of the Inner Sphere. Multiple border wars erupted elsewhere in the Inner Sphere, and the Draconis Combine was savaged by a three-way conflict involving the Blakists, rebel Black Dragons, and Curitan Loyalists. The Captain General of the Free Worlds League, Thomas Merrick, was exposed as an imposter, destabilizing the League and leading to its fragmentation in 3079. The invading clans became embroiled in the Wars of Reaving, which sundered them from their homeworlds before joining in the fight against the Blakists. Eventually, a coalition of nearly every major power in the Inner Sphere formed under the leadership of the mysterious Devlin Stone. Stone and his allies crushed the Blakists and liberated their conquered worlds. However, the Inner Sphere suffered massive industrial and military damage, and entire worlds were rendered uninhabitable. After the Word of Blake's defeat, Devlin Stone formed the Republic of the Sphere from the liberated worlds of the Word of Blake Protectorate. This new power was situated at the center of the Inner Sphere and led a disarmament program that decommissioned battle mechs and other tools of warfare, downsized armies and removed any such material from the hands of private individuals. Stone attempted to build a new kind of nation, with a republic home to citizens originating from all major houses and clans. Although there were still some minor conflicts during this time, the overall state of affairs throughout the inner sphere was one of peace. Devlin Stone disappeared in 3130, but his ideals continued to uphold the status quo. The Republic of the Sphere became a beacon of stability and cooperation in the inner sphere, but it remained to be seen whether these reforms would continue to hold in the future. With the inner sphere finally at peace, the rebuilding process began, with many worlds requiring massive industrial and military reconstruction. The inner sphere was on the path to recovery because the damage inflicted by the word of Blake could be undone. The HPG blackout marks the beginning of a new age of war that brings massive changes to the inner sphere. The Republic of the Sphere, once a beacon of peace, becomes a battleground as splinter factions fight to advance their own agendas. Industrial mechs and other civilian equipment are militarized, and wars engulf the entire inner sphere by the mid-3130s. The Republic's core systems isolate themselves via the wall, an impenetrable barrier to jump ships, with the remaining Republic worlds abandoned to their neighbors. The Lyran Commonwealth invades the former Free Worlds League along with Clan Wolf, which abandons its occupation zone to migrate en masse farther into the inner sphere. However, the League's former members reunite in 3139, while the Wolves turn on their allies and carve out the Wolf Empire from its new conquests. Meanwhile, Clan Jade Falcon, under the leadership of Malvina Hazen, takes off with the Mongol doctrine of terror warfare. The Draconis Combine undergoes a civil war ending in the annihilation of Clan Novacat, following which it mounts an all-out invasion of the Federated Suns that culminates with the fall of New Avalon. Attacked by the Capellan Confederation as well, the Federated Suns manage to avoid total destruction but is left on the brink of collapse. Devlin Stone, who emerges from cryogenic storage, resumes control of the Republic and drops the wall in 3149 to unleash new forces upon the Republic's enemies. But despite some setbacks, both clans Wolf and Jade Falcon position themselves right on Terra's doorstep, ready to claim humanity's homeworld. The inner sphere is once again at war. The Republic of the Sphere, once a beacon of hope and stability in a universe ravaged by war, has been torn apart by the great houses and the clans. The walls that once protected the core worlds have crumbled, and the clans have claimed their birthright. The Star League, once thought to be a thing of the past, has been restored by Clan Wolf. Clan Jade Falcon and the reborn Clan Smoke Jaguar now serve the Ill Clan, Clan Wolf, and Ilkhan Alaric Ward as he begins his reign as the First Lord of the Star League. But the road to the Ill Clan has been a long and bloody one, as the clans have fought each other and the great houses for control of the inner sphere. Outside of Terra, new factions are forming from the worlds of the Lyran Commonwealth and the withering Jade Falcon occupation zone. As new leaders make their bids for power, some remnants are clinging to the control they once had. The future of the inner sphere is uncertain, and the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the eras of inner sphere history. While we are still in a blackout, let us know which era is your favorite in the comments below. We will see you next time, and remember, keep calm and punch the shutdown override button.